Episode 37, right?
That's it. It's the cod.
Yes, sir.
You
Episode
know what it is.
37 of the COD podcast with your hosts, Ryan and Paul.
Hey, it's Paul and Ryan. We out here
Oh
again.
shit.
Another
Hold
episode.
on.
Another great guest.
Yes, sir. We got Mahi in the building. If you're on the cord, you'll know him as Mahi, but me and the homie just put out a collaborative project. He was on the boards, I was on the raps. It's called No
Right.
Place Like Home. It's going to be on all streaming platforms within the next few days. I just got off the phone with CD Baby, so I'm actually out here doing my business. But yes, sir, this is the producer Noza. We are sitting down with Noza, and if people don't I'm gonna introduce him right now, but we got my homie Gordo, who when he heard we were speaking about the project, he said, look, I gotta hop on. He said, I gotta get my 2 cents in and ask some questions. So it's a party today, man. But Noza, man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How y'all doing? Thank you for inviting me to speak with you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your project. I'm I, I'm thankful.
Hey man, your project too, bro. Don't just don't
Absolutely.
just say it's mine, man. You definitely contributed, bro. Like, and that's what we here to like just break it down, bro. So I want to know, man, what do you use to make beats, man? What do you make beats on?
I currently use Ableton. Uh, I also have an SP404SX.
Okay.
So
Nice.
those are
Nice.
what I really use. Yeah.
So you tapping them drums out live then?
Yeah. So my favorite producer is Flying Lotus.
Yeah.
So um the whole West Coast scene, people like to call it like trip hop, where the drums are very off. So like DiBiase, Flying Lotus, Sam I Am, they use the SP4 for a lot. So that was really like the inspiration for me for actually getting it.
Do you model your sound after Flying Lotus or anybody else?
Yeah. I made poor man's Flying Lotus beats. That that's really, yeah,
Sure.
he's like God to me. I've never seen anybody do things to sound the way he does. Like
Yeah.
he samples everything. He would sample me tapping a desk and put it in a beat. There was one instance where this might be a bit morbid, but his mother was actually on life support,
Yeah.
and he sampled the life support system like beeping,
Oh,
and he
like a
put
heart
it,
rate. Yeah.
yeah, and he put it in a song so that his mother lives through his music. So he's just an amazing producer.
Yeah, bro.
So
I'm listening to your beats, and I was hearing Dilla, Mad Lib. Shout out George. He always be calling you Mahi Lib.
I
Uh,
definitely
but
enjoy Mad Lib as a producer. He's definitely one of the. I feel like if you know him just off of his work with Freddie Gibbs, that's
facts.
I feel like that's how a lot of people really came into contact with him. But it's just like, his work is definitely a variety of like just sampling and just taking like creating new sounds. I always loved his production just with his like everything he's done with Freddie Gibbs has been one of my like favorite projects, especially Pinata. I actually just go listen to the instrumental version of it, which is kind of crazy.
Hey, that's facts.
Mhm.
Now, hey, speaking on the instrumental, right? Uh, I know you had reached out to me when I was gonna keep the project at 5 tracks, and you were like, "Yo, take these other instrumentals. Like, can we put them on the end like a B side?" So I'm like, "All right, let's do that." And I tell everybody, like, once I did put those instrumentals on the end, and I was telling you this is how it's gonna work, you were like, "So are you gonna rap over any of these?" And I was like, "Oh man, I thought you just wanted them as instrumentals." So like, all right, I'm a rap over them. I'm a rap over them. And then I ended up rapping over damn near all of them, bro. But
Mm.
no, when he was talking about samples, I kind of want to ask, where do you find your samples? Because obviously, when you send over the stems, I saw kind of what you chopped up, and I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, where do you hear this? How do where do you go to find samples?
Yes. So I like one of my favorite producers, Alchemist, and I think there was if you were stuck on an island and you had one watt record and you had to make a beat out of it to get off of the island, you would find some way to create a beat. So with that being said, like I just sample from literally anything. Like sometimes I go on YouTube and I just like shut my eyes and just click. So it really just comes from anywhere. I guess I try to like challenge myself. But for the most part, I mean like soul, if it's like some indie prog stuff, um, something from like the FM, like I may turn on my radio and pick up like a station or something. So literally anything. I believe that once it's a wave file, you can use it in a beat somehow. That's I guess.
That's a fact. Um, no, I know you kind of mentioned Alchemist answering that question about being on the island. And if people didn't know, you're reporting live from Barbados. So how did you find hip hop out there? How did you like decide to really dig in the crates being on the island out there?
Yeah, well, I kind of grew up listening to hip hop. I'm 28, so I remember like my dad bought me Will Smith's Big Willie Style. That was my first album.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Snoop Dogg, What's My Name, and being like so terrified when I saw him like turn into a dog.
Yeah.
So like I kind of grew up in it, and the scene here is more, I guess, like calypso based. We call it soca,
Yep.
if right. But as time progresses, there's like less boundaries in the world now. We've been embracing hip hop more and being more ingratiated with the hip hop culture.
That's what's up. So do you try to like make any callbacks to Barbados in the music or anything? Do you try to put on or like really let people know, or is it more so just like you let the music speak for yourself?
When you say callback, you mean
Like say like how there is a track that we ended up not putting on the project because I think that final beat free fall that you send, I had like swapped that in for it just to like keep everything at 10 tracks. And that track was an instrumental, but I found like a dance hall DJ and I took his drops and I put it on the beat. So like I was kind of trying to do that to like let people know. There's sometimes in projects where like I'll try to like have like a reggae break beat or something like that, or like some type of thing in the background to like let people know. Like it might not be so like out there or obvious, but if someone were to ask why did you put that in there, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm from Guyana, I'm from the Caribbean. Like I just want to have that kind of like stand out. Do you do anything in your music to like let people know like this where I'm from and rep it?
uh off the top of my head, I can't recall, but in terms of, I guess, uh, exposing more people here that are talented, I try to do it whenever I can. How I started making music, I started rapping. It was me and my friends in school, and a couple of my friends still make music. Actually, one of my boys, his name is Chris, Chris Rose. Chris, if you ever see this, you are God.
Shout
He
out.
produced, yeah, shout out to Chris. He did a beat recently on A Boogie's album Hoodie Season.
Okay.
Nice.
So I try to, yeah, so at any point I try to like expose, because there's a lot of talent in Barbados. There's a lot of people, but we're such a small island that it's kind of hard for, I guess,
people to really like tap in and
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like and kind of see everything. Now
That's
now I gotta shout out Gordo, man, because like I feel like if you had the studio situation popping, you'd be on this project. You'd have
Oh
a verse
man,
on
most
here.
most definitely
So
would have had a
we
verse or
gotta
two.
have an update, man. What's going on? You got the mic in yet, or what we doing?
Mic on the way. We still mic on the way.
All right.
Just gotta figure like the mic is on the way. just got to figure out where I'm gonna actually do like the recording at. Now just like we got the office space together, so it's just like I need something that's gonna be like kind of soundproof. But yeah, I'm like I'm ready to jump back in the music game. Just been pretty much writing heavy. And just like you said, like if it wasn't for the mic situation, I definitely would have had a verse or two for you, you know.
Hey,
And
facts.
so I'm just like, man, I'm like, we got to get one of those Gordo classics out. You know, it's been too long, man. It's been too
Exactly.
long.
Exactly, man.
Particular.
I'll
Hey,
send
don't
you some
worry
of
about
our
it.
tracks, man.
I was gonna say, don't worry about it. The Con Pod live is coming. You know, get a live session.
Oh
Lord
yeah,
on the
Hey,
seat.
yeah,
facts,
that'd
facts,
be
man.
crazy. Yeah, hey, I'm with it.
Because me and Gordo, we was going back and forth like Jada and Styles, man.
Yeah, we definitely used to be on our Jaden Styles. I swear
Real
we used to
shit.
be out here on some, tag team in the track on some.
Come on. Oh man, we lost
Oh
him. He gonna
shit.
hop back on. He gonna hop back on.
All right, cool.
But hey, man, what I was about to like set up and ask both of y'all. Hold on. So he's definitely back in now. Hey, but while he's connecting, what I was trying to ask both of y'all is, since you're both musicians, all right, now Gordo can hear me. But one question that I was gonna ask, since you guys are both musicians, who are your top 5 MCs right now?
Oh man, damn! I've been really like, I've been going through this list over and over. I'm gonna have to say my biggest influence would have to be Kanye, Tupac, Biggie, and DMX.
Okay.
And the thing is, and I hate to say this now, but it wasn't until like taking like him passing and then just going through his discography again, just exploring those songs and then listening to my stuff that
Yeah.
he was a heavy influence on like my sound, my early sound. Cause like when I first started rapping, I remember it was like 2012, 13,
Yeah.
I had first like recorded my first track, and like I remember like him, like his the conversation was one of the songs that like I kept playing over and over like before I went to the studio. And so like him, I would say like definitely Kanye, Tupac, Biggie, and DMX. Um, and I want to say Jay-Z, but I don't really think Jay-Z is influential to my sound, or my like
Yeah.
my music sound. But I would say he's somewhere in there, but I'm gonna say
Okay.
he's in my. I want to say he's in my top 5, but I don't want to put him in my top 5. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why. But I'm like, I guess Hov will be the 5th one.
Okay.
Because
All
like
right with that.
I feel like him and like I feel like it's always Tupac and Biggie's a dynamic, and then Kanye and Hov
Yeah.
is a dynamic for like the rap generation that we got. And then
Exactly.
I say DMX is my in that 5 as well.
I rock with that, man. Cause I was watching DMX's whole service, and Swiss was out there like,
Man,
he went off.
he went off, bro. He said some powerful stuff, that we got to take
like,
in
y'all
account.
wasn't there. He was like, y'all wasn't there. And like I kind of went back and forth with people on saying like y'all didn't really mess with X. But at the same time, I mean, like, how many people over the years, like ever since, when I was at DePaul, there's people who were telling me DMX is their favorite rapper, top something tier rapper.
Yeah,
But
which
what
is
I guess
crazy.
he was talking about when I really listened to it again was probably that addiction. Like, who is there for DMX the
Yeah, like
person?
who was there? Yeah, and that's a good thing, and that's what I got as well. Like, it's like it's always about like how people say give people their flowers while they still alive as opposed to
Yep.
when they dead. And it's kind of taking that and spinach, like
Mm-hmm.
it's like when he was alive, how many people was actually reaching out to him, actually making sure he was okay, asking him like, just come kick it for the day, if anything I'm pulling up on, like that's the stuff that he's talking about, like we don't do, like people don't do that, and it's just
That's a
like,
fact.
and it's sad, because it's like I be telling my homies like, if anything happened to me, y'all know I'll fuck with y'all, but it's just like, how many of y'all actually had a conversation with me in the last couple months? How many people that actually came and visited me,
Mm-hmm.
checked in or even asked me how my son doing,
Exactly.
And it's shit like that, and it's just like, we don't get that until we're dead. You feel me? like trust and believe if something happened to me, like motherfuckers gonna be like, man, I fuck with bro art, but nobody's buying art now though. You feel me?
Yep.
But if I die, motherfuckers gonna be screaming, I fuck with this shit. You feel me? And that's the sad, and that's
They
the sad
gonna
part
be
about
rushing
it.
to show you what they did buy,
You feel me? You
or
feel
what
me?
they
Rushing
did
to show
download,
what they did cop or something like that. But I can't see it and I can't get anything out of it now. You know, I can't appreciate it now because I'm gone. You know,
That's
and it's that's the main thing that I feel like Swiss was stressing. If you got a homie and you love him and you fuck with him, kick it with him and make sure he feels that love and knows that he's loved. You feel me? Because it's a lot of, I feel like even with a lot of like just male relationships, like we tend to like not give that same affection that we would give a female friend. You feel me? Or we don't, we outwardly express it to them, but we don't express it to our homies when this is like, a lot of men are actually going through a lot of stuff. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's just like, and so it's like some of them truly do need that little word of encouragement. Like you never know how far that shit gonna take them, you know?
That's a fact.
And I just
what did Kanye say? You can still love your man and be manly, dog.
Dog, exactly, right? And so it's like
Hey Mahi, man, who's your top 5? Let me hear that real quick.
Well, I like Gordo's list. To be fair, my top 5, Jay-Z, he's my favorite rapper ever. Lupe Fiasco.
Ooh, I forgot Lupe.
Yeah. I think 3rd, there's a rapper called Ka.
Brownsville Ka.
Ka. Number 4, I think I may have to go Ransom.
Shout out Ransom.
Yeah. And number 5, I might just leave 5 blank for now.
I feel you. That fifth is so hard to put in.
5 is tough.
Hey man, hold up. Preem wanted me to ask you, what has Jay-Z done for Marcy? She tripping.
Well, but I will say this though. Everybody always, likes to like, yo, what did blank do for this? Or is it as a celebrity or as an artist, like you never satisfy everybody's needs, right? There's always gonna be somebody that feels left out. Like, as I said, I'm from Barbados, right? So Rihanna, she does a lot for our country. Like she gives back money to the hospital. She gave like millions of dollars back, et cetera, et cetera. And even though she did that, there's still people that complain and say, oh, well, Rihanna should do more. She should do this. She should do that. So it's like, I know Primus is joking, but some people.
Yeah, some people take it out.
You can never do enough. You can never do enough.
It's like, you can never do enough, right?
At least she's doing something, right?
At least they're doing something, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if I had to answer, my top 5 would be Nas, I'm a Nas this league, as they say. Nas, Kanye's definitely got to be there just because that's who like I modeled, a lot of my raps after. So let's see, Nas, Kanye, of course, Pac and Big, or Big and Pac, however you wanna slice it. You gotta have them in there somewhere. And shit, man, top 5, it's rough, man. I guess I'll have to say Jay.
Yeah, I'm like Jay just always make that fifth row.
You can, but I just gotta put Nas in there somewhere, man, because that's definitely like somebody who like I modeled after. If it was anybody, it's Kanye or Nas. So
I definitely see that.
They gotta be out there, 1 and 2. They gotta be out there.
Cam said that he think that Big L was better than Biggie. I disagree.
Well, Cameron's, he a Harlem guy. He gonna go for the neighborhood guys, Big L is somebody that Cam came up with. Cameron. So
I'm like, what Cam you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. I see like
I actually like
Cam.
Oh, man. I was really thinking, I was almost like debating whether I want to put 50 Cent in my top 5, actually. Like,
bro, I was actually thinking that because 50 was the first album I bought. So like you can't act like nobody like looked at 50 as like, hey, this is what you got to do in rap at one point. Like him bringing up sales, him being like all the, him wearing a bulletproof vest on
That's
stage
like
and
he
stuff
made,
like
like he
that.
brought, yeah, he
Yeah,
brought
bro. He
gangster
he
rap
definitely
back
had a lot of trends he was starting before Kanye came through
and
and
shut
took
it
things
down
over.
and made it go all left.
But hey, man, as far as these trends that I kind of brought up, a big trend in hip hop right now is the producer rapper project. You'll have
Hmm.
Griselda be with Alchemist or something like that. You'll have Nick Craven produce for people. So as far as this C and Noza or C and Mahi, bro, I mean, like, have you done that before? Have you just locked in with one rapper for a project?
No, this is my first time
Okay.
locking in. Most of the times before, I would usually do like instrumental tapes and maybe a feature, like a rapper would hop on a beat or two beats or whatever, but never like a fully fleshed out beginning to end one rapper.
Okay.
Nah, so thank you again for.
Hey man, a lot of people were listening to the project and they was like, it's just mad cohesive. Like they were saying it really
Hmm.
sounds like an album. I guess,
Yeah.
not that I haven't before, but people was like, yo, this really sounds like all these come from the same thought, same universe, same type of
Same
like
vibe, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not
yeah.
all
That's
over the
that's the
place.
same thing. I was getting like it was just like you had. I felt like you had a vibe and you stuck to it the whole project, and it's just like
Yeah.
you just went through that like flow of motion through that. Like you just
Yeah.
took us through the highs and low of it. You feel me? And
And I
that's what I
think
definitely.
that's definitely something that I like about the locking in with a producer. You can have more of that control over like where the sound is going and stuff like that. You're not trying to be like, let me get a track for this or a track for that. Let me hit, you just making what you
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So,
yeah,
yeah, man, that's some
Definitely.
facts.
yeah, yeah.
But Darius, bro,
Hmm.
since we already spoke about the mic coming in and when you're getting back on the raps, how about this? Since we're on the podcast, we got to talk about what's in the pack, bro.
Oh
I
man, what's in the
mentioned it
pack?
once, and we haven't heard you in a minute. So what's
Oh
actually,
man.
yeah, speak on that MP pod since I know what you're
Okay.
working on.
Yeah. So what's in the pack is definitely just gonna be this like like small mini segment where I'm just like opening up different things.
Yeah,
Some can be like subscription boxes, but mostly I'm gonna be opening up Pokemon cards because Pokemon is like back in action. It's
yeah,
like it's hit a resurgence again. And so like I just always been a huge Pokemon fan. I love Nintendo. Just it was the first I had a Nintendo 64 was the first system. And so I always been a Pokemon fan. And then just with Pokemon just getting this more traction and just being more mainstream now, that was like kind of the idea that me and my homie Lou came up with was like, you know what, let's just open up Pokemon cards, and like that's kind of make it more unique to people of color and people that don't feel like the other YouTubers that are doing this are kind of like geared
yeah,
towards them. And so it was
yeah.
like kind of giving it a new direction where we can like I can just do something I enjoy and express it with other people. And so it's just like we won't mainly be opening Pokemon cards. We'll be opening up subscription boxes like clothes and things of that sorts. And I actually got a weed subscription box and I'm waiting to come in. Like supposed to
Okay,
come with a bong and type of shit like that. And so like
yeah,
that's gonna be on the episode. And so it's just like a lot of different stuff. I have friends that are coming through with herbal care, makeup and things of that stuff, and they're going to be guest stars. So there's like a lot of different stuff about what's in the package. It's like we're gonna have a box, we're gonna open it, see what's in it, and if it's amazing stuff, you might want to grab it as well. And so
hmm
that's where what's in the pack comes in. Just basically just trying to get that content out there to different people. Like I have a bunch of different interests and things that I enjoy. So it's just like let me share this with the people, because I'm always buying like these different like Japanese figures and Pokemon cards and just books and things in general. And so I just want to kind of like start sharing those moments with people because even if you don't enjoy it, you might find something that you do enjoy. And so
yep.
that's what what's in the pack is going to be about. Peapod is actually just going to be kind of like a small mini, um, I want to say a mini podcast,
Yeah.
where me and my girlfriend Jamaria, the mother of my child, we just basically go through and talk about different things that happen throughout the week. Like we're supposed to shoot the episode today. After this, which is kind of crazy and ironic. I'm kind of glad I got this in first. Yeah. And so this kind of gave me a little practice for what we were out to do. And so yeah, we're gonna be talking about just different things like relationship stuff as opposed to like everyday stuff. I know she does a lot of investing and trading and stuff like that. And so she's gonna talk to you guys and talk about like Dogecoin and cryptocurrency and things like that. And it's just like kind of just, you know, PPOD P stands for progressive effective awareness, you know. And so I feel like a lot of people are aware nowadays, but we're not being effective with our awareness, and it's just like all over the place, you know. And so PPOD is kind of like giving us like this kind of centered, these are like the major current events or things that happen, and these are what you should take away and what you should gain from it. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what PPOD is going to be. I just feel like we're at a point where like a lot of information is being lost in the world, and we're at a point where a lot of information is being construed and just misguided, and people are taking it and running with it, and they're not even getting anything correct about it. And so it's just like that's where I feel like Peapod comes in, where we're taking this information, we're researching it, and we're bringing it to you, and we're just giving our opinion on it. We're not telling you this is how you should feel about it, how you should think about it, but this is what we got, and this is what we got up, and this is how we feel about it, and this is how you can.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, that's try to make this effective in how we awaken the masses. You feel me? Like that's not just anger people and make them upset. Let's give them the tools. Let's wake them. Let's wake them up and give them the tools to prosper. And that's where I feel like Peapod is going to be successful.
You rocking with any Bitcoin, Noza?
I think back in 2013, I think when I was in university, I think I might have.
You frozen?
Re-educate myself.
Okay.
On it. Yeah, because I was a little out of the loop for a second, but yeah. What about y'all? Y'all got Bitcoin? Like,
no, I actually got Cash App actually gave me like $10 of Bitcoin, and I sold it. I was like, I can't do anything with this. Like it would take years for it to accumulate. It was like a 0.00000019. Like I'm like, bro, this is nothing for Bitcoin.
Hey,
but no, I'm like, I say the best thing with Bitcoin. My crazy story is like when we were living on Addison and Ashland, and that's when we met JB and Gmar and Ricky and them. Yeah, they just came out of nowhere with Bitcoin, and I'm just like, bro, I don't understand. Crazy. Like they were just, it was like speaking in code at one point. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Internet money.
The money, exactly. That's.
I thought you only get Bitcoin to buy drugs online.
I swear to God, at one point I was just like, Bitcoin is just truly just, I don't know what the fuck it is. Like I just feel like they just use it to go do some illegal shit, and I'm like, I don't know, like I didn't grasp it at that moment and how serious it was. Cause like at that point, I feel like we could all jumped in and cashed out at this point.
Hey, think about this, man. So a lot of people on the court when they heard the tape, they was like the one thing that they said was it's short. They're like they wish that we extended some of these tracks, like maybe add a third verse or
I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about that strong? How do you feel about the one verse, two verse, the one verse song structure that's been going out lately?
I rock with it, bro, because it's like this is all I gotta say, and that's it. I feel it's mad hip hop, bro. It's mad hip hop, like because like I definitely did that on Hi-Fi Stereo too, like once or twice, and I was like, okay, like people might think this is a gimmick, like I'm just getting a quick verse in and getting out. But sometimes like you hear the beat and like, like sometimes like the beat might just be like a quick loop or something, Yeah. But like there's some beats where people will send it to you and you'll know exactly like this is the hook. This is the verse. So like you got to write to it, right? There's some beats that like I know like Mahi, you sent me like a beat that was like a minute 30. So I was like, okay, like I could extend this. But then again, I'm rapping and I'm thinking to myself, all right, where do I stop for the hook? Nah, I'm on a roll. Where do I stop for the hook? I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. So I just
Man,
keep
it
on
be like
writing.
that.
And then it's the end of the beat. And I'm like, I'm gonna just keep it like this because I'm going off. Like
right.
No, I fuck with
And
that
also, yeah.
No,
No, but what? No, I was just saying. Also, people's attention spans are getting a lot shorter. So
yes, facts.
most people are satisfied with a 10 song. They're like, I'm not listening to all this. Like, I'm not listening to 23 songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't do the
a lot of people.
project.
And all I was saying is that, like, just like you're saying, right? So like I feel like there's other people, like shout out Chris Crack. He'll put out a tape and all of his tracks will be like a minute and a half. And that's it. And people are going crazy. And it's like, obviously it's because he's rapping well, but I feel like you're saying, like it also speaks to like people's attention spans. And like a lot of rap tracks now are like damn near like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, they're 2 minutes or 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Like I literally was looking at songs that are like they literally don't hit over like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like they don't. And if it's really and if it's with a feature, it might be 3 minutes, And it's just like I've been slowly watching the game progress to like literally like songs are just hook verse hook,
Yeah.
And it's like
and then sometimes it's like hook verse hook or verse hook verse.
Yeah,
and it's done.
Verse.
So like you might just have 2 verses and that's it. I remember like coming up and like you had to write the 3 verses, your intro, your middle, and your end, and now there ain't no third verse. So like when people were saying like I wish the project was longer, I was thinking like, you know what, I could go in and add a couple third verses, get a Gordo verse in there, and then sell it as an NFT. And if we all got our wallets and everything, you can literally break that down into certain percentages. So every time it sells, everyone who is involved gets the sale. I'm like,
that'd be dope,
bro.
I haven't even.
I know you on the art.
Yeah, because I'm like I've been getting into the NFT game, and so it's like it's very crazy how this is all coming about. It's like literally like people are just selling anything as an NFT. Like it's crazy. Like so I'm like, and the crazy thing is like, I'm in a Discord for NFTs, and the dude was like, I'm gonna start making my music as the NFT, and like he's and people were like, but we didn't think that that's possible. Like, how are you gonna do that? Like, and I'm like, bro, you can sell anything, like literally anything. And so people were like, just do it. Just go ahead and put that song in there, and then somebody might buy it. And so, like, as producers, I feel like that's even way more exclusive for you guys because you guys have the ability to make these sounds and you can just sell them, And it's just like, you don't even have to tie it to anything visually. Like, it's just like they'll just take the sound and buy it as an NFT. That's the crazy, the crazy part about it.
I looked at the show the other day, Full Size Run, and you had Waka Flocka on there. And he said he was working with something that just makes it simple for artists to just sign up and join, and it'll like walk them through everything about like how to upload art or how to upload music. This shit is probably not gonna show up. This Satoshi Art.
Okay.
It's satoshi.art if you want to go to the website. It
ain't
a plug because I'm still reading through everything, but I feel like let's check it out, bro. Like all it takes is to add another verse to a few tracks and like maybe do some art stuff and put it up and be like, yo, this is the NFT that me and Mahi are selling. And
Jack Dorsey sold his first tweet for like 2 million, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then like, so you still got to sell an NFT, right? But there's places like you said, just like that Discord, where you can go and be like, yo, I've got an NFT for sale. And then people will help you.
And people will go post it and they'll
So like there's a bunch of communities that are like, yo, who's gonna buy our stuff if they don't know us? Well, let's help each other. So like if you tag NFT on Twitter, someone will probably you know,
like it or repeat it.
exactly. So it's like it's a lot of stuff out there, bro. We could start trying to band up on out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely feel
What?
you on that because
Mm.
And I mean, promoting your NFT is like brand awareness too. You get people who didn't previously know your music or know your brand or know what you had going on. Now they're checking you out. Now they're like, damn, they got an NFT out here. They got merch out here. They got content out here. Like, what's up with them? You know,
Come
they got
yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Big
and that's the
facts.
crazy thing about it. And that's the thing about it. I've been learning as an artist is just putting myself out on these different platforms, you know, because it's just like you don't know who's watching or what it's about, who's watching, you know, and it's just like all this is just bringing more attention to you, especially if you do it well and you're doing that and you're working within the community, you know.
Yep.
And so it's just like I fuck with this, just like how the people on the internet are coming together to do things, you know. It makes more sense, especially with like how we're not able because I want to say like because I was watching this interview with what's Falcon buddy name from Falcon?
I
What's
know
his
who you
name?
talking about. I know who you
Mackie. I just
talking
know his
about.
last name, Mackie. I just don't know his
Anthony
first name.
Mackie.
Anthony. Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
And he put it in perspective. He was like, you know, he's like, I worked on a lot of Marvel movies and I've only seen probably one black producer, you know, but we get the Black Panther and the whole team is black, you know, but you come back for the regular white Marvel movies and say, well, we can't find anybody of color to fill these positions, which is a lie, you know, because you did it with the whole Black Panther movie. And so it's just like, that's what I'm saying with these communities, we're able to open up these doors and put ourselves in these positions to get success. You feel me? Because I'm like, the thing is, you might meet, it's like the crazy thing is the internet and with these chat rooms and discourse, you can meet some amazing people that do amazing things that you are trying to be a part of, you know? And so it's just like, I feel like now times of the day is like, instead of like trying to force our way into something, people are just, you know what, fuck it, we're going to create it ourselves.
Yep.
And and I feel like that's the most beautiful thing that's come about with like all the internet stuff and the NFT stuff. Like people are like, you know what, they're not letting they're not letting the unknown artists on the NFT marketplaces, you know, we're going to create our own marketplace, you know.
Yep.
And I'm like, and I fuck with that. And especially with just like how artists are sharing their music and shit like that as well. And this is like, it's a beautiful movement, you know? And I just feel like we just got to continue to keep coming together and knocking down these doors, either building our own new doors. You feel me?
Shit, bro. Think about this. You was talking about meeting people on, you know, the Discords and social media. Like, you know, I got to shout out Preem one more again, just because he was the one who was really telling me like, yo, you need to go and interview JR. I think you can do that. I go and interview JR, and now I got him on a Mahi beat. And the crazy thing is, you named Ransom as one of your top 5.
Oh yeah.
And JR is signed to Ransom. So I mean, think about it. Like
it's full circle, you know.
Exactly. Like this project's about to be on streaming. Once it's on streaming, that's a whole nother, you know, wave of promotion to let people know it's finally on, you know, Apple and Spotify and whatnot. And by that point, you know, who knows? Like JR's name could just pop up and someone could be like, oh, new verse, let me check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Now somebody listening to you know, a Mahi beat, somebody listening to Noza on the track, like, oh, okay, all right, word. And then on top of it, that Sanity verse I spit for A King. You know, I'm just out here dropping names now. But at the same time, I spit this verse for A King, and he followed me back on Clubhouse because of that. So like once everything gets like, you know, in order, who knows, man? I'm gonna try to reach out and be like, yo, do you remember I spit this verse? I just want, you know, you to know that it's finally recorded, it's out there. And I mean, shit, just the people that he knows, right?
Yeah.
Just Blaze, someone like that. I mean, like,
it's
very close as far as like they say 6 degrees of separation. Somebody can be hearing your track and you don't know who's hearing it, you know?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I remember my grandma used to say, like, you be like 6 inches away from success or something. She used to say, you feel me? Like, and it's just like, you never know.
Yeah.
Like you say, like JR might be like, he might be playing that song and Ransom might be around and he like, you know what, who
You
beat is
know?
this? And you know, now you got you now you finna get you a Ransom track. You feel me?
That's
He
what
want
I'm
a beat from you.
saying. That's
And
what
it's just
I'm
like that's how
saying.
it all works, you know. And I'm just like, that's the beautiful thing about life, you know.
That's why it's important to like to never shit on anybody or never try to.
Yeah, you don't want
You
to.
never know, that person could end up being Gordo a year from now, could be the next big, and oh, I was on a Zoom call with Gordo a year ago. You know, like that's how life works. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
No, and I'm like, and I definitely have seen it. Like, definitely, I've seen a lot of my like close friends just get that level of success, and I'm just like, bro, I know I saw you put in the work, and I'm like, it's beautiful. And they like, bro, you next, and I'm like, man, I hope so, but I'm like, shit, when I get there, I get there, you
You
know.
know?
But it's just like I just feel like we just like I say, like we just got to keep on like. You know, it's just like we gotta, like you say, just don't shit on the next person. Like, and it might be, and it, like a lot of people seem like it's not even shitting on it. Like, just don't hate on it. You know,
Yeah.
It's like everybody. Like I always say that. I always used to tell myself, and I always remind myself, like everybody has their turn. You know, it's like, and even like yo, and even if your form of success is not their form of success, you had your turn. You know, and it's just like just waiting your turn. You know. And then just like taking in everything in and just, you know, grasping that. And that's just the beautiful part about just all of this, you know, it's just like, yeah, I might not be the hardest art, like the hottest artist, but it's just like, I'm working towards that, you know, and it's just like one day it will be my turn. And then it's like, even then, you got to remember you got your own fan base. And so it's your turn now, you feel me? So it's like, you got to keep that in mind, you know?
That's
And
a
so like,
fact.
I'm like, you, even though it may not be the level of success that you're hoping and dreaming for, but you're successful, you know, you got a fan base. I'm like, so it is your turn now. You just got to make the most of it and get to where you want to be, you know?
Hey,
And I
bro.
feel like
And
that's the biggest part of everything.
yeah, that's
You
one
can't.
fact that I really rocked with my bad. I was gonna say that's the one fact I really rocked with Noza's production, just because like, that soul sound, like I said, coming up off of Kanye.
Yeah, that soul
Even
sound.
just like Nas, just that hip hop, that raw hip hop sound, that traditional sound. You don't have to think too much. It's not like this is a club sound, so I got to put myself in the setting of a club, or this is a drill song, so I got to make sure I sound menacing. This ain't nothing but just like traditional hip hop. And at the end of the day, you don't gotta be a thug or a G or
To
anything.
rap,
You
you
don't
feel me?
have
As
to be a drug dealer. You could just tell your story, just like how hip hop intended. So
and that's the
just to
part about hip hop. You feel
yeah,
me? That's
just
the
to hear
best
your
part about it.
beats, and then just to be like, let me rap over this. Let me tell people, hey, this is the pandemic. We all going through this. We all might have lost somebody. This is how we move forward. This is how we stay strong. How do
Yeah.
you survive? What's the key to surviving, grinding? Like everything I was saying on there is just about like, it's all good. I'm here too. I understand what's going on.
And
And
that's
I
what I
think
was
people
feeling on.
heard that. Yeah.
And I definitely got that too because it just made us. It felt like he was like, you know what, we all going through this, we in it together, you know. And
Yeah.
I definitely got that on the project. You feel me? Like that definitely was a vibe that I felt like honestly, like I kept like I was just like, man, it's just like C just trying to bring us together in a sense, you know. And it made sense for the project, you know.
And that
I
shit's gonna
definitely
shine through,
appreciate
man.
that.
Just like you said, if it's just
Absolutely.
about being honest, being honest with the people, it's gonna shine through. So like you said, just that honesty could put you in the room with so many people that you didn't think so, right? And you didn't have to go out there and try to be, who's popular, Travis Scott or ASAP
Or
or
Lil
or
Durk or somebody,
anything,
you feel me? Or
anything. So like that's why I kind of like really like that scene, because somebody like George, shout out George, he was like, yo, my boy produced for say Navy Blue. So how easy could it be to be like, yo, reach out to Navy, man. Let me see if I could get a verse. Someone like him is probably gonna be like, it's either one of two things. Either he says no, or this is how much the verse costs, or yo, I'm down because the beat sounds raw. But at that level of making music, I feel like it's much more open and honest. to like really
Right.
work with people based off the skill level rather than, you know, when you're trying to make some type of like music that like hits a certain
Appeals to a
demographic or
certain, yeah,
appeals,
exactly.
you're gonna have to play a game. You're gonna have to play that politic game, or you're gonna have to, you know, be at a certain something. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I
Yeah.
also want to say this as well. You know, it's just like a lot of artists. You know, they come out and they think that they got to do everything by themselves. You know, and
facts.
it's like, you know, if it truly wasn't for you and Doc and AX, you know,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have went as hard, or either I probably would have gave up, you know, because it was just like
Hmm.
moments where I was like, man, I'm not sounding the way I want to sound, and it was just like literally like y'all input and y'all just like
Yeah.
y'all knowledge and just y'all just being experienced like helped me a lot when I first
And you
started, you
want to know
know.
it's crazy? You want to know it's crazy? It's crazy because Gordo over here is telling y'all, oh, like this is not where I'm at right now, or this is not the sound that I'm trying to sound like, or whatever. Or I don't think I got there yet. It's funny because like we could, like, if you listen to Gordo, right, you
Mhm.
can turn around and like he said earlier, be like, okay, I can hear that DMX, right? But at the same time, I'm telling you, like Gordo was rapping, and then I'm telling you, I was like, okay, so now Herb and Bibby are on, and there's a million people who are like, yo, Gordo, you sound just like Herb. But it's not
Mhm.
because he was trying to sound like him or he was influenced by him. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right,
Yeah, and
right.
yes,
that was
they're
the
both
crazy
from
part about
Chicago and they
Chicago.
both might have like a similar upbringing or something like that. But the
Right.
sound that Gordo said he was trying to like actualize and like really work on and perfect, here's somebody else with a sound and it's working. So it's like
Hmm.
the whole time, it's like, yo, I feel like maybe this is what we were seeing. Maybe you didn't
Right.
hear it to be like, yo, I got it already, but somebody else dropped with a sound that you were already working on.
Yeah,
You know what
which
I
is the crazy
mean?
part,
Without
and
even
that's why.
hearing them. Like, and
Yeah,
that shit
and
got,
that was, man, that was that always gets to me. Like I don't even like not even gets me, but it's just like it always gets me when I'm like when I think about it. I'm like, man, they like, bro, you had a real distinct sound. I'm like, bro, I don't think I had a sound. And like everybody be like, but you sounded like Herb, and I'm like, did I, or did we just both just sound alike? You feel
yeah,
me? Because I'm
because
like,
you could have a similar voice and everything, but I feel like you guys both rap hard, right?
yeah,
And like that whole thing, like say even with this project, you know, the No Place Like Home, I feel like I told Preem, and I was like, I've always had boom bap tracks on like every project, at least like one or two, just to like take it back to hip hop. But like doing a full project, sometimes I sat there like, is it going to be too dusty for people? Are people going to be like, oh man, this is too old? Like,
old
Right.
school,
who
yeah.
does he think he is? The 90s. I just sat back and I said, you know, this is the sound that I like. So it was one of those things like, I know I'm good at it, but let me just put my all behind it. And that's the
Mm.
same thing I kind of heard with Darius like earlier, like when he was like, is this the sound? But then it was like, yo, you questioning this sound, but this guy over here is now taking this all over the world. Like, you know, you had that
Mhm.
voice. I guess it's just one of those
Yeah.
things where it's like, I mean, we still working at it now, so it's not over. But I guess it's one of those things where is it your turn? Is it your time?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but it's
Because I
just one
feel
of
like,
those things where you were not even you were, because like once you get back on the mic, but it's like you got that sound, right? So what?
yeah.
It's just getting back and putting some more product out.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
that's the thing about it, because I'm like, I just feel like with music, I just wasn't, you know, like every song, I'm like, man, it ain't perfect, you know, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
damn, I don't sound, and that was the part that was killing my tracks. You feel me? Like for me, like I just feel like I was too busy trying to perfect and not trying to sound like him as well. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
And that's like,
yeah,
and that was like, no, what? Fuck all of that. Just sound like yo. Just do you. You feel me? Like
yeah.
if motherfuckers say you sound like him, you don't. You
Fuck
know
it.
you don't sound like him. You feel
Exactly.
me? Yo, shit
Cause
is
like
way different.
I'm sure when Gorilla Black dropped and everyone was like, yo, you sound like Biggie, he probably had to sit there and think like, what am I supposed to do now? But like the
Yeah.
real artists are going to figure out a way, you know.
Yeah,
Because there's only
definitely.
so many different sounds of voices out there, you know. At some point, look, Action
And
Bronson and Ghostface, but somebody had to find a way to differentiate
Mhm.
themselves and make sure,
yeah,
like, no, I'm Action, you know.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, but
bro.
you always got to stay true to your original self, though, bro. Whatever your
Exactly.
flow is, whatever your angle is, whatever your story is, you got to stay true to your original self, regardless.
Oh yeah, definitely
And
agree.
that's why I brought up Action and Ghostface, because at least for Darius, right, it's the same thing where it might just be the voice. But if you listen to the lyrical content and the beats that you pick and what you really rap over, I'm like,
Way
nah, that's
different.
Gordo,
Yeah, way different. And
Exactly.
the crazy thing you mentioned Ghostface, because I'm like when I was like being like mentored by Rhymefest, he had me like he was like the rapper, that I sound like, and I remind him of was Ghostface,
Okay,
which
shit.
was the crazy thing about it. So he had me like study the man discography and write a verse like him. And I'm like, bro, I wrote a verse and he was like, this don't sound like Ghostface. And I'm like, bro, you literally told me I sound like Ghostface. It was so crazy. Like, it was so crazy. Like, when you mentioned that, I'm like, literally, like, Ryan Fest had me study the man and everything, write a verse like the man. I came
Hey,
back with the verse. He told me that I didn't sound like him. I'm like, you just told me I sound like Ghostface. But all right, bro.
Rhyme tripping.
You know, shout out
Like,
Ryan,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
didn't
bro.
You know,
like, yeah, I might have sounded like Ghostface when I wasn't trying to sound like Ghostface. Now you made me try, and now it came out different.
yeah,
Like,
nothing at all. Like, it was all right, but
uh,
it's still all love, though. Oh, what up, bro?
Yeah. I mean, like Paul said, I feel like it's just important to be honest in whether it's music, whether it's art, just be honest because somewhere somebody is gonna see that and appreciate that honesty. You know what I mean? So just be you. Just be you.
Yeah.
and bro, you know,
Yeah.
I kind of want to bring this back up. When you talking about that, I feel like I heard everything that you just said in a beat. I'm gonna sound like real crazy right now, but everything you were just saying, right? When you sent me that free fall beat, I'm like, damn, son, like this is like the last like week before I gotta like really turn stuff in if we want to make this deadline. All right.
Mm,
So I'm listening to the beat. I'm like, I can't pass up on it. This free fall
Right.
beat that you put on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it had the perfect picture for it and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like this beat really looks like one of them like tight beat joints. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But you got it
Yeah.
up there under like a different name, under like a burner account or something. And it had so many views. So I'm sitting there like, this is just good music shining through right now. So I gotta
mm-hmm.
take this and I gotta rap on it. Cause it ain't nothing like you didn't give me like the hardest, like that wasn't like nice or something like that. That sounds like Dipset to me. Like
Right.
this is like a beat that's like Dilla, Common, something that's
Right.
just like it's just good vibes. So it's like you're not trying to like push like a sound or a vibe on me. You just listen to this. And I'm like, all right, I gotta rap on this, bro. And to me, it kind of turned out as one of the best on the project. Like I definitely have it
Yeah.
on my top three. So
Yeah, to me as well.
It's
I
just
appreciate I
me
appreciate
personally.
that.
Me
yeah,
personally, it's just something about soul beats, you know. It just
yeah,
it takes you to, like, honestly, like, one thing that, and it is one thing that Ryan that you just talk about, and what you talk about when you was talking about being honest with yourself. He used to talk about telling your truth, you know.
mm-hmm.
And he was like, he used to tell me, like, bro, he used to be like, bro, you know, you having a hard time telling your truth in your music because you're not trying to be vulnerable, you know. And I feel like for some reason when I get on soul beats, like, I have not it's like I get on them bitches and I'm like, excuse my language, but it just seems like a
yeah,
lot of emotion come out of me. You know, I'm like, I hit points where I'm like, okay, I can go through those phases, like those that soul beat bring out those phases of emotion where I'm going through like my triumphs to my downfalls to my comeback, you know, and I feel like those beats, like those bitches make
Yeah.
me feel some type of way. It makes my verse feel some type of way. It makes my verse feel more raw to me, you feel me? Because it's
Yeah.
actual like raw emotion that I'm getting from like I'm feeding off of the beat and it's feeding into my soul. You feel me? And I'm like,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just love, like, I always like I just love old school soul beats. You know, it's just like Kanye was one of the
Yeah.
first persons that did it and like made it like, you know, like you feel something when you listen to them just by themselves, you know, and it's just like, man, like
Mhm.
we don't
Yeah.
get that in nowadays music, you know. And
And
I feel
how
like
how
that
long
was,
does it
And that's
take
the
you to
beauty.
put together a beat?
Uh, Sometimes it could be 10 minutes, sometimes it could be half an hour, it varies. It varies. Sometimes you may be working on a beat for an hour, you step away from the computer or whatever, and then you come back and it's like, this is garbage. I just delete. So it could really go like
either way.
Any way. Yeah.
Okay.
But I always try to when I make beats or whatever, I try to let them sit. Because I guess with making beats, sometimes you could become like a prisoner of the moment. Like you could be listening to something and be like, oh, this is hard, da 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 da. And then, you may rush to put it out. And then you realize, oh, I don't really like how it did this. The snare could have been louder. I could have done this, that. So I feel like it's important to, when you create art, even with art, let it sit. And then if you come back like a year later or whatever, and you still get that same feeling, then okay, all right, this might be kind of cool.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And that's the artistic process. Sometimes you gotta let it sit and marinate. You might hear something. When you step away from a beat or an artist step away from a painting, and you might get some inspiration from something small that you run into at the coffee shop. You know what I mean? Or a beat from an artist who, just like you said, you rediscovered. DMX as an influence in your art. You know what I mean? Like something might spark your imagination. It might spark that creativity. So it's just, you got to go the process, baby. It's always a process.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, because I feel like I'm the same way, even with just drawings. Like I'll sit there and be like, you know what? Okay, I feel like I did everything I can do to it. And then I'm like, okay, I might walk outside, see something. And I'm like, okay, well, no, I ain't even finished. Let me add some more to it. And I'm like, I feel like it's always it's a never ending process. But I feel like also I'm a perfectionist. Like I be trying to perfect shit, and I need to stop that. Because I'm like, I don't know where that came from. Like I think that's just like, I don't know where the fuck that came from, honestly. Like just trying to make everything perfect when it's nothing that's really truly perfect in the world. But now I'm like but now what I'm starting to do just to counteract that is to put a mistake in and leave it in and shit.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
Just like to counteract that like habit of being a perfectionist. Like I'll literally leave a mistake in my work just to what it's flawed.
That's another can of worms. What's the definition of perfection? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like that
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anything is perfect in the world. I don't think anything is perfect.
And I feel like some of those artists that I kind of compare you to, Mahi, is artists that kind of are like that. Like if you listen to like a Jay Dilla beat, is it going to be perfectly quantized, or is he going to have some swing in there because of like a lot of it's live? Or sometimes when he chops a beat, somebody might be like, this chop isn't on beat, but it works. Things like that. So like, have you ever kind of taken that type of like vibe into your music and then just been like, I'm gonna have this sound live rather than trying to tidy everything up?
Yeah. So Jay Dilla is another one of my biggest influences. And I definitely try to leave these little elements that may make the beats humanistic, even in the record I'm Real.
Yeah.
Is it Unreal? Yeah. Right. The drums are kind of off. And I even told you that I was kind of surprised that you flowed on it so well, because there was a part where the snare was way off. But
hey, I'll tell you what I did. I actually rapped over it, right? And I just rapped over it normally. So like there were times when I can hear myself either maybe like speeding up or slowing down. But I took that first hook and I cut my hook, just like how you would take the vocals and then just shift them over to like make sure the hook is the same.
Right.
So I shifted the vocals, but I also shifted the beat, because when I shifted the vocals 16 bars later were kind of at like a different sounding part of the beat.
Right.
So I was like, okay, so I chopped that same beat that was on top of the original hook and I shifted it over. So like if you kind of listen, those drums will kind of like get right back on track at that part, just to have a uniform sound. It wasn't anything major that would really have thrown it off if I didn't do that, but it was definitely something that I was like, let me just have it, because I know AX, our homie from London, he was always telling me like, yo, try to make the hook sound the same, because like what I used to do is just record live. So the first hook might sound different than the last hook in the song and things like that. So he was like, you can always just copy and paste the best take and things like that. So then I also started taking that for like just the music as well. Cause there would be times when sometimes just rapping, I do the hook at this part of the beat and then keep going, and the hook is on like a different part of the beat, even though there was like specified sections and stuff. So now I'm like, let me take this section and make sure it's the same and do all that. But yeah, bro.
But even to what Gordo was saying, like there's no such thing as perfection. Everything is subjective. People might see that as a mistake. Like I like that. I like that you want to take the first hook and the second hook. Like you may say something slightly different on the second hook. I personally like that because it sounds, as I said, more humanistic. And what I realized is that a lot of artists do that purposely. Like if you listen to a lot of Drake records, he may say like there's a song Blue Tint off of Scorpion. He says certain words different on the first hook than he says on the second hook. He may stress a word in a different way.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he does that because like as humans, like we get bored hearing the same thing. Like this happens on a subconscious level. Like you may get bored hearing the same thing, right? And if you have two different, slightly varied hooks, you may keep playing it and you may be wondering like, yo, like this is the same hook, but I can't figure out like why I keep playing it over and over. But it's that small change that makes a big difference. It's a small change.
Hey, as soon as you said that, I swear, as soon as C said that, the first thing that popped in my head was Wu-Tang. I had like an ODB song going through my head. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they did, right? They were raw, they were rough, they were rugged. They would just go at it. And if they did have a hook, in mind, they would say it differently every time, just to keep the audience engaged. And that's that real raw. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Big facts. So hey man, I see Darius dipped off. He probably had to start or Gordo, my bad. He probably had to, start working on his next pod. But yeah, man, we definitely been in here for maybe like an hour and 10 so far. So like, shout out Zoom for lifting our 40-minute limit.
Shout out to Zoom.
They rock with us out here. Heavy. But man, let me ask you, man, what's next, bro? What do you got coming up next, man?
I think, as you were saying earlier, I still want to put out the long instrumental EP with about 50 or 45 beats. Okay. And hopefully I would love to get back to rapping.
Man. Hey man, you need a feature. You know where to reach out to, bro. You know who to reach out to. You need a feature, bro.
Yeah,
let's
that's
get that C and Mahi on the beats, on the lyrics too, on the lyrics.
That's a fact, though.
Hey man, well, shit, bro.
With you, bro. Pleasure.
Hey, it's definitely been a great episode. I think this is one of our best. I'm not just saying that. Bro. If you made it this far in the pod, just check out me and Noza. So that's C and Noza, SEY and NOZA. Check out our new project album called No Place Like Home, the third installment in that Care Pack series. Hey, shout out Cook Up Cam. I'm rocking the Care Pack 2 merch. And you and Paul, man, just go to that site that I told y'all. If you want anything, I'll send it through. So, I got you free of charge. So,
let me say, this is not me just saying this because I'm here, because I'm not gonna lie, when you asked me if I wanted to be on the pod, because I never did an interview before ever in my life. So, and I'm kind of like anxious, like, I speaking on camera and stuff like that. So I was like, should I tell him no? Should I just like make up an excuse?
Hey, and I felt like he was about to do it.
But then I was like, let me. Life is about getting out of your comfort zone. Trying new things. So I am forever appreciative that you and Paul had me on. I went back and watched a bunch of episodes. I already watched like a number of them, but I went back just to get the vibe and see what it would be like. And y'all definitely put in your work.
Hey man, we trying.
Y'all chill, y'all out here.
Hey man, it's Ryan and Paul.
Ryan and Paul and Ryan. That's my favorite part.
Hey, full speed ahead, bro. You heard me. It's the kind, man.
Full speed ahead, bro. But let me. Hey, thank you for that, Mahi, man. But look, man. All I know is like, go listen to that. No Place Like Home. It's on Bandcamp. It's on Audio Mac. I just got off the phone with CD Baby, so they definitely told me that this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you'll be able to listen on Apple and Tidal and Spotify and all that. So yeah, go get No Place Like Home. But also, like we still got more cooking. So like, who knows? I might drop another Mahi beat that I rapped over soon or something like that.
Hey,
but since people wanted me some production, come on, fam. We need you on here, bro.
Hey, I'm not even gonna start. Like, I'm really like, once this mic come in, and if it ain't together, I'm literally going to the grindhouse, bro. That's the origin.
Yes, sir.
That's the origin place.
Yes, sir.
So, like, regardless, so I'm like, man.
We might gotta extend some of these, man, because Gordo's definitely had a spot on a lot of remixes of mine that I haven't got a verse for. So I'm ready.
I got so many verses written for shit that I was supposed to send to you. I'm like, bro, I just need to just go ahead and just have G-Mar just cook this motherfucker up somehow.
Fuck it, man. But yeah, bro, we might extend some of these tracks and put the NFT out. So just stay tuned, bro, because we definitely need to get involved in that world. No place like cryptocurrency. But hey, man,
to it.
Yeah, it's the COD, episode 37.
Come on
the
now,
homie Noza on here. No Place Like Home. Shout out the homie Gordo. Keep tuned in for that What's in the Pack and that P-Pod.
P-Pod, What's in the Pack coming soon.
Yes, sir. Tap in for the artwork. And also stay tuned because he's getting back on the raps. You heard it here first.
Hey, what you dropping at the end of the episode?
Oh, I forgot, bro. Hey, yo, Paul definitely kept me on track. Every time we have artists up here, we got to play a song at the end of the episode. So what song from the project should we play at the end of this episode, Noza?
Let's go with Star Talk.
All right, Star Talk when it's time to call back.
Let's go with Star Talk.
All right, we gonna rock it off. This is Star Talk, rapped by me, your boy C, featuring Robbie Rashu out of California and featuring the homie Ryan Rax out of St. Louis, produced by Noza, all the way live from Barbados. Let's go, Star Talk.
Check out Robbie.
See, I know you put the COD.
Oh, it's the COD. Peace.
Oh, buddy.
What? Yeah, nigga. Who got the keys to my bimmer? I tryna cop weed in the winter. I'm born sinner. My name not Jermaine. Yeah, I came in this game on the come up. Sucker MCs in my town try and run up. One by one, they all get stuck up. Stabbing everyone like a roadman in London. Kill you on the track like I got beats from London. Let's get to the root of the shit and undone. The beef like unsung on TV. I'm hard to see, but those who know, they know I'm one of the illest. Writers tried to kill him, but I'm like penicillin at this whack shit. I really want the action, I really want the smoke. Niggas act funny, but I don't get the joke. If you want Star Wars, I give you New Hope. Niggas wanna run off like I ain't got the bow.
Star Tag when it's time to call back.
Hey, all black from shoes to the ball cap. I'm so mad. Lead you to the fountain with a gold at. I'm nice, like a bag of chips and all that. Nickelodeon shoes pushing the fade back. Cutting like a barber, let mama explain that. On a higher plane where my energy stays at. The red dot on your head aiming to flame that. Mobbing through your block, steady bumping that care pack. Aware that I'm insane in the brain. Soul full of ether main. Swift like new ghosts. Heart full of power games. Sugar what these rappers leave. I'm here to shake up every tree. Wavy on the rise and the bummy fall like Ottomans. I don't follow rules, I grow and come up. I plan to charge the drip for every summer. I got the jewels, he drops the packs, no cap.
Start attack when it's time to fall back.
Yo, it's a killer on the loose. Any gray goose, call it yin yang. Just came in this thing, just came with your dang, just came in your dang. Refrain from my name. You don't want me going loco. Desert Eagle 4-4. Put it to the logo of your polo like oh no. You don't wanna go toe to toe. Hit you all 2 times, then I go. Money over bitches. She can do the dishes. Got the sweetest bitch, pussy like Swedish fishes. And she can dress her ass off, and you know that ass off. Like the leather in my 87. Like it when I preach. Call me Ryan Reverend, Reverend Ryan Rex. I'm all about the racks. In fact, you gotta pay for that. What you do? Speak crack. Where you from? East side. Who you with, nigga? I'm with the illest alive. That's your wife? Call her my senorita. She taking off my wife beater. It was nice to meet her.
Start attack when it's time to call back.
In fact, let me get the keys to my Batmobile. That's how I feel when I'm behind the wheel. Look how I peel when I reel down road. Only got space for my real down bros. Got real down hoes and you real down bad. Your rap career, yeah, real damn sad. You ain't had bars like this before. Give them 64 when they want 16. Got Nintendo screen, but I play no games. It's a damn shame how they all turn lame. Yeah, we know y'all names, but do you get the respect? Robbie and Ryan and Rags be some of the best. Labels on the phone, but we tell them fall back.
Start attack when it's time to call back.